Review. I've got a book about business, a certain kind of business, a business that we all believe we want to have in our lives. And in this book, this particular business I'm going to talk about is something that has revolutionized the way we market ourselves, the way we sell ourselves, and honestly the way we make money. So the book that I have for us today is Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, and it is about how to start a successful internet business. Now, when it comes to the internet, we all love watching the internet, we all love doom scrolling, we all love doing certain things on and with the internet. But what I really love about what Russell Brunson does, before we dive into the book, is he talks about, or he views and talks about how to build an internet business in honestly a very simplistic way. I know I say that about a lot of my books, but if you really think about it, when it comes to doing stuff, it is simple, but simple doesn't necessarily mean easy. So, for example, when it comes to doing a curl, you're doing this motion in the gym. But you might think, well, gee, that's a simple movement, but it's not an easy movement. Well, why? Because you're not only doing this. You're squeezing your stomach and you're putting your arms forward to get more tension on the bicep. And when you go up, you're going all the way to here as a full rep. And then when it starts to get hard, you squeeze your abs and your arms and even your back a little bit more and more to squeeze and continue to get that whole tension. They're like, wow, this is really, really hard. So like, you kind of see what it is. So like with an internet business, for example, you might think, alright, you post a ton of times throughout the week. Yeah, you do, but all those posts are eventually, keep in mind, eventually going to lead to some money or a little bit of success. But it will lead to that after tons and tons of posts. So that makes sense. But we're going to dive into the book here. And we're going to start at the beginning. And what I really love about the beginning of this book is I really love how he views being a charismatic leader. So listen to what I have here, or listen to what he says about being a charismatic leader. Now, I know I just said charismatic leader, but I love this example that he uses, because this example, like lots of other influencers, I guess you could call it, or business people, or CEOs use this example a lot. They use it a lot. So listen to what I have here. Alright, it didn't matter if I was studying Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party or Jesus Christ and Christianity. All of them had three things in common that helped build them, that helped them build a mass movement. So listen to this. They each had a charismatic leader or an attractive character. Each of them focused on future-based cause that was bigger than themselves. They each offered their audience a new opportunity. Listen to that. Cultures. While we're not actually building a cult, we are consciously creating a culture of true fans. So, now I know what I read there was weird, but let me read here. Jesus Christ and Christianity, Adolf Hitler, or the Nazi Party had three things in common that helped them build a mass movement. Now, you're probably wondering, yeah, it helped them build a mass movement. What's your point? Well, honestly, you do not have to be charismatic, or, you do have to be somewhat out there or a little attractive, but they built a following based on the way they acted around their people. And they built it by just who they were and how they sold themselves. So when it says cultures and creating a culture of true fans, not a cult. So being outgoing and being personable and offering people new opportunities is good, but it is all on how you offer it to them. And then what the trade-off entails. Something I've learned in life is there's everything with trade-offs. So a good example is like today. I have the chance to do overtime with my current job. And it's fine, but I got swung with it. And I have a powerlifting meet on Saturday and that. And now I'm kind of thinking, well, that's great, but will I be recovered? My powerlifting coach said I should be recovered. But the other thing that I have thought about is I have a powerlifting meet on Saturday, not just a workout. So the thing that I'm concerned about as of right now is if I should be recovered or if I should just take these 4 days off and then worry about overtime and my other work schedule. So that's just something I've been thinking about now, but now we're getting a little off topic here. The point is that you deal with trade-offs when it comes to new opportunities. So something to think about here is cultures. C-U-L-T in capital letters and a little hyphen that says yours. So when it comes to building a business, it's almost like you're taking life advice from past cult leaders or past leaders. So think about how all of that is in common with leading people, with building a business with people. Think about that. Is what we have here is something that I do believe. You ever hear people say that a certification matters or a college degree matters? So for example, when it comes to being an engineer, you have to have a college degree to be an engineer at any place you work at. Being a doctor, you have to have a doctorate any place you work at. Why? Well, I know there's YouTube University, but sometimes in school, in actual medical school, and I guess college for engineering, the thing you need to think about is all the stuff they learn, you cannot learn online. Also, that is a skill that is developed over time. So all that schooling and all that math and all the medical stuff you learn, you get better at and develop more of like problem solving the more you do it. And then the more you do it, you eventually get certified. Hey, I know how to do this, this, and that. Now, there are some arguments when it comes to a certification. So, for example, if you want to be a personal trainer and you're hired at a gym, and they're like, yeah, but you got to be certified in this, this, and that. Well, you might be thinking, well, I know this, I'm an expert. Well, not really an expert. I know this, and I know that, and I've done personal training most of my life just by doing it. Yeah, but you need to be certified. So, to an extent. But I also understand that because you want to have some kind of educational background before they hire you. So the reason why that is an interesting topic or an argued topic is because there are some companies or some people who need jobs who are actually really smart and have had great work history, but they're not educated. So this is what I have for you when it comes to building an internet business, but also when it comes to coaching people on certain things. So listen to this. Look at what comes easy to you and what you love to geek out on, and chances are that's where your superpower is hiding. Just waiting to be developed and shared with the world. But Russell, I'm not certified. I can't help people yet. This is one objection I hear way too often. I'm not certified. I don't have a degree. I haven't been to school for this. How can I possibly claim to be an expert? I always smile when I hear these words come out of someone's mouth because I know where I came from. I ask them, well, I'm curious. You paid me $25,000 or $100,000 to teach you this stuff. What do you think my credentials are? They think about it. And you usually say something like this, I don't know, do you have any marketing degrees? I say, nope, I barely graduated from college and I got a C in marketing. I don't get good grades and I don't have any certifications to my name. But guess what? I'm really good at what I do. My results are my certifications. Tony Robbins told me that when he first started learning Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, he signed up for a 6-month training course and after just a few days he fell in love with it. He gained skill quickly and wanted to start helping people immediately. The trainer said, you're not certified yet. Tony said, certified? I know how to help people. Let's go help. That night he left his hotel room, walked across the street to the nearest restaurant, and started helping people quit smoking and assisting them with lots of other amazing things. He ended up getting kicked out of the program because he was practicing without being certified. Yet, he's gone on to transform tens of millions of people's lives using NLP, all without any certifications. Your results are your certification. Of that, I know that was a lot to read. And also, if you guys enjoy listening to me read, feel free to let me know, because I can find more paragraphs, or what I might do as I learn what I want to do with this channel, I might just read a book to you guys. And obviously, I don't know how good my voice is, but what you would be kind of like a podcast. You would just listen to my voice in the car, or while you're eating breakfast, you would just listen while I read. And then I'd probably, after each page, I would briefly explain what I just read. But anyway, well, that's for another day. But listen to what he said. I know how to help people, let's go help. And he goes, certified? What? Well, your results are your certification. So for example, if I started a gym business and I made millions of dollars a year and made my personal trainer superstars and made them full-time jobs, and I invested in other gyms and I helped other people market their businesses so they would grow. If I did that and someone asked me, well, I never graduated college, I never went to college actually, I'm not certified in anything, I just stuck with what I was good at. What? So you're not certified in anything? Because here's the thing with certification. Your results are your certification. I advise you to write that down, because even with your job or anything you do in life, your results are your certification. So as a power lifter, I right now have one of the heaviest benches in my powerlifting federation for 165 pounds. And I'm going to be honest with you, totally honest with you, certified in any fitness area at all in my life I just did my research and I'm just very good at the bench press. So when it comes to results, your results are your certification, and to get results you don't need to be certified. It just takes work, YouTube University, and it takes the willingness to get this, to listen. See, what a lot of people do not realize is you can learn so much about life just if you listen. And when it comes to listening, when it comes to your coach, like I heard a bodybuilder say, some of the best athletes in the world are the best because they listen to their coaches. So listen to your coach and don't listen to what other people say. You do you. So for example, that engineering job you didn't get because you don't have a college degree, but you're really smart in that field. You take your smarts, and obviously if you have a bunch of failed attempts to do it, this is where your life story can get interesting, is you just apply it to something else. You apply your brain and your ability to learn to something else. And then you'll show other people how you can learn this, and that when you wanted to be an engineer without a college degree. Look at where it got you. You're just like, I just chose to take my skills of how I can learn math and I can do numbers and apply it to something else. So for example, these people were really good with people. They were good at talking to people, they were good at selling themselves, and they were good at business. Why? Because they took their ability to listen, their ability to retain knowledge, and their people skills and put them to work. So they didn't need any certifications or any college, they just found their strengths and they used them. So now I'll say it one more time, I'm probably going to say at the end of the video, your results are your certification. I should also have mentioned at the beginning, but this book was forwarded by Robert Kiyosaki. He's the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is it's a long book, but I actually don't have that book. I don't know how I haven't read that one yet, but that is something I will read. Now, the other thing, the third and final thing that I have has something to do with listening, but I want you to listen to just what I have here. Just listen to what I have. So, one struggle most of us have as we try to serve our audience is the guilt sometimes associated with getting them to pay you. There are two reasons it's essential to their success that they pay you. First, those who pay attention. Over the last decade, I've invited my friends or family members to sit in on events that others have paid $25,000 to attend. Not once in those 10 years has a single one of those people who sat in for free launch a successful company, yet in the same room sat people who invested in themselves. They heard the exact information, and because they had invested money to be there, turned that same information into multi-million-dollar companies. Yes, those who pay attention. And the more they pay, the closer attention they pay. You are actually doing your audience a huge disservice if you undervalue what you are selling. Second, the more success you have, the less time you will have. Now, first, those who pay attention, and not once in those 10 years has a single one of those people who sat in for free launched a successful company, yet in the same room sat people who invested in themselves. So the reason why you think about that is those who pay attention. Now, that is another thing. Your results are your certification, and those who pay attention. Now, the reason why that's the case is if I'm paying $25,000 to go to probably a three-hour event, and I have to sit there and listen to a guy talk, I'm going to be like, huh, I paid this much money, that is an outrageous amount of money to attend an event. I'm probably going to pay attention like my life depends on it. Because I'm there to learn something, I want to make sure I didn't waste my money. So when it comes to stuff like that, when you pay for a course on training, you pay for it because you want to learn and you want to get out where you're at in life right now. And you're probably wondering, well gee, why do you pay these people? I mean, you said YouTube University. Well, that training thing that you paid for one, you can use that as a credential on a job interview. As a way to take notes, and honestly, that training video will have like more to it than just a YouTube video. Now, because of YouTube University, in my opinion, it's a little hard to beat because YouTube, you can look up anything in the fitness industry and just learn that way. There are IFBB pro bodybuilders who learned all from YouTube, not from online training and stuff like that. But you also got to think, the online training might be from a specific person. A specific person who has accomplished what you want to accomplish. And not only that, but they're very good at selling what they're trying to sell you. So for example, the more they pay, the closer attention they pay, and you are actually doing your audience a huge disservice if you undervalue what you are selling. So when it comes to selling stuff, like I said, your results, like your certification, selling people the results you've had from your system is what's going to make you money and hopefully change other people's lives. Now, obviously, you want to help people, don't get me wrong, but you also want to make money. It's like with me working out with other people. I'm a little selfish with my weight training only because some people cannot keep up, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the other thing is that I like to train on my own, and I like to kill it, and I like to focus on myself. Because there are times where I'd be training with people, and they either will not show up, or they will talk the entire time, or not do what I want to do. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to train by myself. Now when it comes to benching and needing help with the squat, I'll usually train with somebody, but when I'm not powerlifting, I do something else. But the closer attention, the more they pay, the closer attention they pay. Now, and then second, this is the big one. This is something people do not think about. The more success you have, the less time you will have. So for example, with that overtime example I use tomorrow. So today, it threw a little wrench in my day today. I'm going to go to the grocery store after this. I'm going to have a light body weight session. I'm going to do my meal prep. I'm going to work on this. And that's probably going to be the rest of my day so I can go to work tomorrow. And not only that, when I work tomorrow, I'm going to come home and sleep and then get up, weigh in for my meet, have the rest of Friday off, compete on Saturday, and then go back to work. And that's going to be my week. Now, the other thing that I have thought of is, if you really think about it, do you need to do overtime tomorrow, David? Do you need to? Well, I'm actually not going to. So, second, the more success you have, the less time you will have. So, like, tomorrow, like I just said, it really screws up my time, because, like, today I had a relaxing morning, and then I have to do a whole bunch of stuff that's probably going to take most of the rest of the day. Tomorrow I'm going to be gone all day, because I work 12-hour shifts. I'm going to be at work all day tomorrow, and then after that, I have to get up early and weigh in on Friday, and it's just like, and you might think, well, that's not success, that's just busy. It's not success, but it's money. And the more success you have, the more money you will have. But however, the more success you have, the less time you will have. So the point of that is, I will have less time. And you might think, well, David, what are you going to do with the time that you don't have? So when it comes to rest and when it comes to being lazy, like when you hear people say, I binge watched this series, I watched this movie that day, that's great, and there's nothing wrong with having days like that. There are some people who love to work their 5-day work week and spend the weekend just relaxing. There's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. But I do believe in living a life and using, especially if you're young, using your younger years, not just to stay in shape, but to meet people and to do other things with your life more than just that. Who worked the same job for 50, 60 years, and that's all they did, they kind of regret it, if you really think about it. But, and now, what do you mean they regret it? I mean, they'll just tell you, they'll be like, hey, I'm old now, and I don't have the energy to go out anywhere, and I'm old, I can't go to bars and stuff like that, and it's just different. So that is why, the more success you have, the less time you will have. And that is something you have to have in your head. The more money you make, the busier you're going to be, but that is how you make money. You work. And keep that in mind. That's the takeaway for this video. How you make more money is you work. You work. There's no 4-hour work week, which I'm going to review that book, but you work. And I've used this example before. The Shark Tank people or the billionaires out there, they work 100 hours a week. They might be not doing physical work, but they're making phone calls or responding to emails or traveling. Work, work, work. And that is how you make money. You work. To make more money, you work. And remember, your results are your certification. The more they pay, the more attention. And the more they pay, the closer attention they pay. And the more success you have, the less time you'll have. So I want to thank you all for watching this book review. Thank you all for staying with me. I thought that was a good one, and I'm going to get through my day. Let me know in the comments what book you want me to read, or how you want me to change this channel a bit, because I believe I have 2 or 3 more books that I've read in the past years, and then I'm about to finish one I'm reading now. But let me know what you want me to do. I want to thank you all for watching, and you all have a great day. And remember, to make more money, you have to work.